Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 5, Verse 12. Please repeat. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Bhagavan Svashrayaha Paraha. Bhagavan Svashraya Paraha. Bhagavan Svashraya Paraha. Tam Adrishtva Abhavang Pungsaha. Tam Adrishtva Abhabam Pungsaha. Tam Adrishtva Bhavang Pungsaha. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Bhagavan Svasraya Paraha. Tam Adrishtva Bhavang Pungsang. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Bhagavan Svasraya Paraha. Tam Adrishtva Bhavang Pungsa. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Next. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Bhagavan Svashraya Paraha. Tam Adrishtva Bhavang Pungsa. Bhagavan Svasraya Paraha. Tam Adrishtva Bhavang Pungsa. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Matajis. Eka Eveshwaras Turyo. Bhagavan Svasraya Paraha. Tam Adrishtva Bhavang Pungsa. Kim Asat Karmabir Bhavet. Someone else? Okay. We go to the synonyms. Eka, one. Eva, indeed. Ishvara, Supreme Controller. Turiyaha, the fourth transcendental category. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sva-ashrayaha, being his own shelter. Paraha, beyond this material creation. Tam, him. Adrishtva, not seeing. Abhavam, who is not born or created. Pungsaha, of a man. Kim, what benefit? Asat karmabhi, with temporary fruitive activities. Bhavet, there can be. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. Narada Muni had said that there is a kingdom where there is only one male. The Haryashvas realized the purport of this statement. The only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who observes everything everywhere. He is full of 6 opulences and fully independent of everyone else. He is never subject to the 3 modes of material nature, for he is always transcendental to this material creation. If the members of human society do not understand him, the Supreme, through their advancement in knowledge and activities, but simply work very hard like cats and dogs all day and night for temporary happiness, what will be the benefit of their activities? Purport. So Narada Muni has mentioned a kingdom where there is only one king with no competitor. The complete spiritual world, and specifically the cosmic manifestation, has only one proprietor or enjoyer, and that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond this material manifestation. The Lord has therefore been described as Turya, existing on the 4th platform. He has also been described as Abhava. The word Abhava, which means takes birth, comes from the word Bu, to be. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 8:19, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. The living entities in the material world must be repeatedly born and destroyed. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, is never Bhutva nor Praliyate. He is eternal. In other words, he is not obliged to take birth like human beings or animals, which repeatedly takes birth and die because of ignorance of the soul. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is not subjected to such changes of body, and one who thinks otherwise is considered a fool. Gyananti man mudha manushim tanum ashritam. Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Narada Muni advises that human beings not waste their time simply jumping like cats and monkeys without real benefit. The duty of the human being is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can recite the Mangalacharana prayers together. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrayatam Sahagana Ragutantam Vitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parizata Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Yagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam namaskritya, naram chaiva narottamam, deving sarasvating vyasam, tato yayam mudirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Naranarayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. So, today is the appearance day of Ramanujacharya. So I was thinking I will just say something very shortly about him. One can say so many things. There is one verse which glorifies Ramanujacharya. And the Sanskrit is Chaitradram Sambhavam Vishnur Darshana Stapanot Sukham Tundira Mandale Shesha Murtim Ramanujam Bhaje. And the translation is, I worship Sripad Ramanuja, the incarnation of Ananta, who took birth in the month of Chaitra, April-May, under the 6th lunar mansion of the Tundira days, and who came upon this earth to establish the philosophy of Sri Vishnu. So there are 4 schools of Sampradayas of Vaishnavism, and they are considered to be authorized Vaishnava schools, coming from Lord Brahma, from Rudra, and the Kumaras, and Shri. So the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they follow in the line of Lord Brahma, that's us, and Sripad Ramanuja Acharya, he's the founder Acharya of Shri Sampradaya, the school of Vaishnavism or Vishnu worship, descending from Lord Vishnu's consort, Lakshmi Devi. He commented on the Vedanta Sutra. His commentaries on Vedanta rivals those of Shankaracharya. And he propounded the Vedantic philosophy known as Vasishtadvaitavada, or qualified monism. And the most famous among his numerous writings are his commentary on Vedanta Sri Vyasa, his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, his Vedanta Sara, and Vedartha Sangraha. So I can't say so much about him because I would like also to speak about today's verse. But there is one very nice lila which took place with Ramanuja Acharya, and it's my favorite lila. And the thing was that he was arriving to Sri Rangam, and then he was studying the scriptures under the guidance of Mahapurna, who was a prominent disciple of Jamuna Acharya. And then with the help of Mahapurna, he became expert in the scriptures. Ramanuja Acharya became expert, including in the Nyasa Tattva, the Gitartha Sangraha, and Siddhitraya, the Brahma Sutra, and the Pancharatras. And then after some time, Mahapurna advised him to take shelter, take initiation from Gostipurna, and accept Vaishnava mantras from him. So then Ramanuja Acharya approached Gostipurna for the mantra, but he was refused. And he went to him over and over again. He went to him 18 times in great humility. And when he finally broke down in tears and, really, really pleaded from the bottom of his heart, then Gostipurna accepted to give him the Vaishnava mantras. But he had to vow one thing first, to never give this mantra to anyone, to never reveal this mantra to anyone. And then he did so, he promised, never to repeat the mantra to anyone. And Gostipurna whispered the mantra in his ear. And he said, this mantra is very powerful. Whoever chants it will attain liberation. He will return to the spiritual world, to Vaikuntha, and he will achieve the personal service of the Lord. So, because when the Guru gives a mantra, he also has to reveal what the mantra will give. So, and then Ramanuja Acharya, he got the mantra, he got the initiation, he left the temple and went to Sri Rangam. And then a crowd gathered around him. They had heard that he had received this very powerful mantra. And they begged to know the mantra. And then Ramanuja Acharya, he was inspired to give the mantra. He was very compassionate, and so he announced to the crowd, please chant this mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya. And everyone was overjoyed, and they have felt, oh, we have received, the blessings of the Lord. But then the news came to the Guru Goshtipurna, and he called for Ramanuja Acharya, and he was outraged. His new disciple had immediately disobeyed him so quickly, so he demanded an explanation. He said, I told you to keep this mantra secret. Why have you so quickly revealed it to the masses? Do you know the penalty for such behavior? And Ramanuja replied, yes, Gurudev, I may go to hell for disobeying your order. Then why have you done such a thing? My beloved teacher, I realized that the power of the mantra given by you could deliver everyone who hears it. When I saw the earnest desire of these people to be saved from material life, I could not contain myself. I felt some divine inspiration to distribute your mercy to all of them. If this is a great sin, then I must be punished by your holiness. Condemn me to hell then, if my sin warrants it. But please do not show your wrath to these simple people who begged me for the mantra. So then Goshtipurna, he saw the sincerity of his disciple and his heart was moved. And after all, what is the principle? If one can distribute the Lord's mercy, then, then that is the best. And although Ramanuja Acharya had disobeyed the instructions about the mantra and the instructions of the Guru, then he had understood the real spirit of the mantra. So he became a great preacher of the Sri Sampradaya and showed the capacity to install devotion in the hearts of the masses. So how could he then be condemned? So what happened with Goshtipur, he fell at the feet, the Guru fell at the feet of his disciple, and he says, forgive me, my child, it is you who are my master, and I, the disciple. Who am I to take the role of your Guru? How could I know your greatness? Accept me as your disciple. So this is something about Ramanuja Acharya's life. It's very sweet and very wonderful when devotees interact in this way with each other, and when the Lord is also making these nice arrangements. So we go back to the Bhagavatam, and I can read the verse again. And Narada Muni had said that there is a kingdom where there is only one male. The Haryashvas realized the purport of this statement. The only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who observes everything everywhere. He is full of six opulences and fully independent of everyone else. He is never subject to the three modes of material nature, for he is always transcendental to this material creation. If the members of human society do not understand him, the Supreme, through their advancement in knowledge and activities, but simply work very hard like cats and dogs all day and night for temporary happiness, what will be the benefit of their activities? So that is the verse which we are going to discuss today. So I would just like to introduce the setting of what's happening in the Bhagavatam. So we are standing in the west, and we are standing in the river Sindhu, where the river Sindhu is meeting the sea. And there is a great place of pilgrimage called Narayan Saras. Many sages and other advanced in spiritual consciousness live there. And we are observing a very serious conversation between Narada Muni and the Haryashvas. The Haryashvas are, correct me if I'm wrong, the 10,000 sons of Prajapati Daksha. So Narada Muni, he is compassionately preaching to them. He's telling them, because his father said, do austerities because you have to create a population. You have to populate the universe, which was quite empty at that point. So, but Narada Muni, he saw, oh, these boys, they have advanced so much, so why would they actually go through the Grihastha ashram? So then he told them he started to preach to them that they should just disobey the father and go back to Godhead. So that's the setting of this verse. And today's verse are making 2 points. 1, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. And 2, the Grihamedi who simply works hard to achieve temporary happiness. So these are the 2 points of today. So what is very important is that sometimes happens that devotees in our movement consider that the Grihastha ashram is a fall down. Or they think that Grihastha and Grihamedi is the same thing. So it's very important to understand the difference between these 2 situations. One is an ashram and the other one is not. Ashram means, because you know, the Varnashrama Dharma system, there are 4 ashramas. Varnas are to make money, to maintain the body, the Varnas, and they are meant to support the ashrama. And the ashrama are meant for spiritual advancement. So that's very important. If one is a Grihamedi, you just live like materialistic life, you don't have any spiritual sadhana, nothing. And then you have the Grihastha ashram, which is meant to advance in spiritual life. So it's important for devotees to be truthful to themselves and acknowledge where am I standing, and that we should not try to artificially imitate the Naishtika Brahmacharis. Naishtika Brahmacharis are those who can skip the Grihastha ashram because in previous life they already made that realization. They already became self-realized. So in this life they don't need to go through that again. So it's very simple. You go to the university or whatever, then you don't need to go back to the lower schools. So it's something like that. And then for our preachers, it's very important to help devotees to understand where they are standing and that they should be truthful to themselves, because otherwise the mind will be disturbed. If one is in the wrong ashram, the mind will be disturbed. It will not be possible to chant so nicely or to be like happily situated in one's life. Like I think it wasn't last year, the year before last year. Then we had the ISKCON Leadership Sangha, where 800 leaders from all over the world came here to Mayapur. And the theme was more devotees and happy devotees. So that's important, the devotees are happy. Then one can also see sometimes that the thing of prestige can many times be in the way of oneself being truthful of in which ashram one belongs. So there is a need to renounce the false renunciation in order to become genuine in spiritual life. We have to be truthful, we have to be sincere. And then if one decides to marry, then it's important to find a good match. And that is an art where one should go to expert persons and ask, how can I find a good match? So I asked His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Purna Swami the other week. I said, what is the right motivation for a devotee to marry? If they intend to marry and create a family, what should be the right motivation? And then, because devotees, they know so much of the philosophy, they know material happiness is temporary, they know Krishna is the only husband, is the real husband. So why do devotees marry? Because in ISKCON there are mainly grihastas. So his answer was, as I already said, Naistika Brahmacharis have realized that Krishna is the real husband. And everyone else has to realize it through the Vedic system of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. If one performs one's duty, then, like as a grihastha, you perform your duty. The most important duty is charity. And if one performs that duty, then what happens? You develop transcendental knowledge. And that knowledge leads to renunciation, which leads to bhakti. So in that way, the grihastha ashram is like a way to bhakti. And then one very important point came out, that he said in the Vedic system it's very important to create happy marriages. It's very important to be happily married. And I became a little bewildered, because I always thought that the worse the marriage is, then the more renounced you can become, because then it will be confirmed from the Vedas that you can't be happy in the material world. Then he said, no, it's important that you are happy, because if you're happy, then you will understand that this happiness can't be measured with a spiritual happiness, and then you will be able to renounce. But if you were not happy married, it won't last, you won't go through all the tests, and then you will be frustrated, and you will go for another marriage. So that's why he said the mlecha system is not progressive, the Vedic system is progressive. So it's very important to try to make it work and to be happily married, because the renunciation will come through that, and not in the other way. It can come in the other way, but for very few people. So, and I leave this point now. Or do you have any questions on this point or commentaries? Yes?
Could you repeat the part of what you said, what is the right mood to take Grihastha life?
The right mood?
Yes.
To enter Grihastha life, okay. So what he said was that those who are Naistika Brahmacharis, those who are self-realized, they understand I'm not this body. So those don't need. But the other ones, they are theoretically, they understand, but still they are how do you say, identifying with the body and mind. So then they have to go through the Grihastha ashram, experience the happiness of the material happiness, and then through the austerities of that ashram, they will develop the transcendental knowledge that they are not the body. Then they will become renounced, and then they can go for bhakti. So, did that answer your question? Yeah? Okay. Yes?
Actually, we are a conditioned soul, and we are not so much advanced. And there is a great chance to fall victim of Grimedi life if someone is entering to Grihastha life. So, how we can be cautious on that manner? The one question. And the comment is that, second, that you told about that devotees should live Vedic standard of life, Grihastha life. They should follow like that simple living. And but in Mayapur also, that we are saying that the Grihastha devotees, Vedic centered life means Grihastha life means cow centered, and like that, serving cows and living simple life like that. And in Mayapur we see that no Grihastha is taking care of cows, they don't have land, and they are living luxurious, same western style of life, luxurious life.
I have very difficulties to hear what you're saying. I don't know if it's the mic or if it's your accent. I don't know if someone can help me.
Yeah,
if you can just very shortly.
Okay. I'm telling that they are maintaining the same standard of life, material life. Even after becoming devotee, accepting Grihastha life, they have come to Mayapur, but they are not living simple life. And we are seeing that many apartments are rising day by day, and Mayapur is filling with the concrete buildings. And even the apartment, they don't have the space for cows.
They don't have
cows.
cows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not following the Vedic standard, and they are just maintaining the same Western lifestyle or luxurious lifestyle from their past background. So what does it comment that what is the message for them should be, and how we can improve that situation, that Mayapur is not going to filling with the concrete buildings. And the second comment is we are conditioned soul. We have so much past conditioning, and if we enter into Grihastha life, there is a lot of chance to fall victim of the Grimedi situation. So how can we saved from that?
Well, you know, we come from the West. It's not that I had a cow when I was a child. So it's most probably I won't have a cow when I'm grown up. So it's like really difficult. We want to go for the Vedic system, but I think it will take a few generations before that can happen. But meanwhile, we can try to have a simple life. Charity is very important, and you know, focus on chanting Hare Krishna, focus on our rounds. So it will come. It will come. But it will take a while. When I was a teenager, I was very frustrated with humanity. I was very, very frustrated. And I was thinking we need to go back to the, how do you call it? When you don't live in the cities, you live in the countryside and you have your animals. Yeah, go back to that kind of life. Farming, yeah. That's the only sustainable thing, actually. So, but it will take a few generations. It's not that we can do it because we are conditioned from where we came. So, but it will come. The material nature will force us. You know, maybe some war will come up and everything will be destroyed. Civilizations, they only last for around 200 years and then they are gone again. So then at that point we can build up something, and devotees will be forced, even if they don't want.
But we should prepare ourselves before, because if the Mayapur community is filled with concrete buildings, then we can't do anything. So Mayapur management, if can, and senior devotees, if they can advise the community to develop the concept. And
I mean, you have the chance now to influence the city which will be built up. You have the chance, but you should go and talk with the persons who have the power to do something about it now. So tonight there will be 4 o'clock. There will be the co-directors. You should definitely go and talk with them. Maybe we can get a service there and help out with the planning and everything. It's an important point. The mode of goodness is important. Yeah. So I advise you to do that. Get involved in it. Try to do something about it. It's not an easy task. It's very difficult. Okay, I have to continue. Thank you for your question. Now we go to the point of this verse, which says that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So then I asked His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Purna Swami, what does it mean to be an enjoyer? And he said that the subject applies the activity to the taste of the object. So that sounds very abstract. So I will give an example of what that means. For instance, when we offer foodstuff to the deities, then we know what kind of recipes Krishna likes. What does he like? He likes puris and chapatis and milk sweets and so many things. So then we do that. So Krishna is the object, we are the subject. So we apply our activities for the taste of Krishna. So then we cook something nice for him. And then we can see Srimati Radharani. If we read the book about Krishna's 8 pastimes going on every day, Then around 5 o'clock, Mother Yashoda sends a maidservant to Radharani's house and says, Radharani, please come and cook for Krishna. And she comes with her sakis and she starts cooking. And she's very energetic and she's cooking very quickly, making so many preparations and very expert in the measurements of the salt and the spices and everything. And the sakis are helping her, putting everything in her hand, and she puts it in the pot. And then she's very artistic. She brings everything into the dining hall and she's making very beautiful arrangements, and the dining hall is nicely decorated, everything for Krishna's pleasure. And then after Krishna has eaten, Radharani, she takes the remnants, and the other servants also take. So that is the way, actually, how we enjoy by being in line with Krishna's enjoyment. So this is a very, very important point. That we are Prakriti. There's only one male. That's what's said in the lecture. There's only one male. Everyone else are meant to satisfy that male. So that is like can awaken some kind of protest. Why? Why him? Why not me? I want to be in the center. So when we're chanting Hare Krishna on our beats, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So how many times is Krishna in the center of our japa? And how many times are we the center of the japa? So we come to like the original root of the conditioning, that actually I want to be in the center. If we allow Krishna and Radha Krishna to be in the center of our japa, it means we have made a lot of advancement. But if we are in the center, it means that we are distracted by our own desire, our own ideas how to be happy. So that is a very important point. That Krishna is the enjoyer. We have to be in line with his enjoyment. And then we have another example. The example of the king. The king lives in his palace. He's the center. The servants, they are serving him, but they are also enjoying the facilities, the beautiful palace, the wonderful first-class food, the nice, dresses, the prestige and everything. So, but as soon as the servant thinks, oh, I am the king and I can start taking things home and stuff like that, then he will be punished. So, I can give an example. When I was working in the bank, I was cleaning, and every morning, 9 o'clock, the crew went to take breakfast, and they were leaving all the money in the bank, in the office. And I was alone with the money, 1 million rupees, and a lot of money, and I was not looking at it just from the corner of the eye, because I could feel the Shakti, like, this is Lakshmi Devi, a lot of money. So, but I realized from that moment, actually, that I should lead my life always like that everything is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. I should not take it for me only. I should always offer it first to Krishna, and then I can take his remnants. So this is something which we have to daily remind ourselves. This body is not for my enjoyment, it's for Krishna's enjoyment. My wife's body is she's a gopi. I should not enjoy her. I should make nice arrangements so that she is happy and that she can serve Krishna nicely. And the wife should think the same. My husband is not for my enjoyment. Maybe he's also a gopi. So, or a cowherd boy or whatever. So we should think like that serve each other, protect each other, say sweet words, etc. Make each other happy so that our minds can be peaceful, and then we can serve Krishna together. And the community also. The community, if one person is happy in the community, then that will spread. Or if someone is disturbed, that will also be spread. So it's important. That's also important. And then I would like to end with one very nice lila, one of my favorite lilas. I'm sure you have heard it many times, but there is one detail which people forget to say, and which I think is the most important details. So it's in connection with this point. It's in connection with the point that why we are so much afraid to surrender to Krishna and to have faith in Krishna is that we maybe don't really trust him, that he will actually provide for us. Because we are meant to give him pleasure. So, okay, if I give Krishna pleasure, then what about me? So this can be in the subconscious, and that's why we don't surrender year after year after year. We still have this fear. So, and we can think, well, look at the Pandavas. You know, what happened to them? They had to go to the forest. They were losers for 14 years. Or the gopis, they surrendered everything, gave up the chastity even. And what happened to them? Krishna abandoned them. So what will happen to me? So we heard this many times, you know, devotees joining, giving all the money and giving up studies, giving up job, and then all of a sudden the temple is closed down, the guru fall down or whatever, and then they are standing on the street. What will I do now? But Krishna will always take care. He will always take care. So we have to have this strong faith that he will take care. If I do my duty as a servant of the servant of the servant, then the supply will come. He will supply according to our conditioning and according to what we need. So that is akarma, that is the result of akarma. So he will give what we need, so we should not be worried about that. So the last lila, which I would like to tell, is that in Dwarka, Krishna was cutting fruit, and he cut his finger. And Draupadi was there, and she saw, oh my God. And he actually manifested transcendental blood. He doesn't have any blood, but for the sake of lila, he manifested. And Draupadi immediately, her beautiful royal sari, I mean, what woman would do it? Only Draupadi maybe. She just cut out a piece of her beautiful, expensive sari and put it around Krishna's finger. And then Krishna, he looked at the piece, took it out, and counted every thread. And he counted 999 threads. And he told Draupadi, Draupadi, one day I'll give you 999 saris. And when did he give that? Yeah, when Dushasan tried to, in the royal assembly of the Kurus, Dushasan tried to take out her sari. And there all the 999 saris came. So we have to trust actually that Krishna will provide. So we should just surrender unto him with intelligence and with guidance from senior devotees, and everything will be nice. So, I'm sorry I went over time with 4 minutes. I don't know if anyone wants to comment or ask something quickly, otherwise we quit here today. To see the wife as a gopi, it takes maybe 20 years to come to that realization. But that's why the Grihastha ashram is there. To understand that everyone is a servant of the servant. It takes time. It will come. Yes? Yeah, you can ask.
So, mentioned about having strong faith that Krishna will provide for us. So we may not have that realization right away. So how to come to that platform, like the process of attaining that strong faith that Krishna will provide for us and maintain us.
I think you just have to be in a situation where you have nothing, and where you just pray to him. I served you so many years, now please take care of me. And then you will see that he does it. And then you get the realization, yes, he's actually there for me.
So you're saying the process of prayer and meditation
Yeah.
to the Lord.
I think we all have been in that situation, no? I mean, I was in such situation with 4 children, big house, we needed maybe 20,000 Swedish crowns, which is 2 lakhs of rupees each month. So all of a sudden there was nothing. And I called the social security, social people who gives money to those who don't have in Sweden, and then they said, no, we don't want to give you anything. And I said, okay, Krishna, you take care. And he took care. So maybe you have to be in that situation to understand that he's taking care. And well, while I was so upset, this verse from the Bhagavad Gita came to my mind that Arjuna declared to the world that my devotee will never perish. So we have to trust him, but can we really do that? That's the question. So he's just waiting for us to trust him.
At the same time, if we put our faith in Krishna, we have to do our part also.
As I said, we do our devotional service, and the result is that he will give what we need for according to our conditioning. So that's our karma. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.